Jeff Wright is one of my YouTube mastermind members and runs a big insurance company. He wants to build his YouTube channel now. He made a short video to help people leave abusive alcoholics, and it blew up on social media. Now he wants to make longer videos to reach more people and grow his business. If you've been comfortable with short form content and now want to play in the big leagues, this video is for you.
My childhood was spent around drunks, drug addicts, and criminals, which sounds bad, but what it gave me a very, very, very unique knowledge in human nature. You know, a lot of people don't like what I talk about. I don't care. Because really, to get any kind of attention, you have to take a stand, and it doesn't matter what that stand is. And you have to be totally cool with other people not liking that stand, because if you don't take a stand, if you don't take a side of something, if you aren't polarizing, and unfortunately, in social media, if you're not polarizing or negative in some way, not only do you not get heard, you get completely ignored. If I'm doing something, or if I'm saying something that's going to piss somebody off or whatever, that doesn't bother me in the least. I got really thick skin.
All right, we got Jeff Wright with us. Jeff's part of our mastermind group. We meet once a quarter, talk about YouTube and thought leadership. And as part of that, we also do a one-on-one together. So, Jeff, welcome, man.
Thank you for having me.
Give the audience a little context, and then we can dive into how it can help.
Well, first and foremost, we're an insurance company, but that's a boring thing to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about burying their mother, right? You know, nobody wants to talk about that. And so what I'm really passionate about, Evan, is helping people that are living with abusive alcoholics. And how all this happened was, I have a young lady who works for me, been with me for years. I never knew that there was any kind of a problem. She calls me back in January of 2025, and she's crying. She's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I didn't know what it was about. I thought she had committed fraud or stole money from somebody. I'm like, well, just what's happening? And so what had happened was, she had been living with her boyfriend for 3 years. They were engaged. They were going to get married in Mexico. My wife and I, we were going to go to their wedding in Puerto Vallarta. And as it turns out, he drinks a whole bottle of vodka every day, has put her in the hospital 4 or 5 times, killed her dog, and knocks holes in the wall. And she's wondering if she should marry him. And I'm like, you need to get the hell away from this guy as fast as you can. Now, most people would say, if that happened to me, I would run. Why didn't she? Her primary concern was that what her family would think. The dad had put all this money down on the wedding. They want to portray the perfect life. She didn't want to go through the embarrassment of what other people think. And my thing to her was, you know, who cares what they think? They're not living in your skin. They're not living in your shoes. And if your father really loved you, he could care less about the money. I have 2 daughters. I know I could care less about the money. I would want my daughter away from someone like that. And I got very passionate about it because my father was a very violent alcoholic growing up, and it just made life hell for all of us. And it's something that I never really talked about. So after I did that, I felt passionate enough about it. I did this probably 90-second video and put it on Instagram and TikTok, and it blew up. I always knew, Evan, that it was a problem. I never knew how big of a problem that it is. And oddly enough, I'm going to say probably a third of the people that I work with that have problems are here in Canada. It's as big a problem here as it is in the States. If you look at the proportion of my clients versus the proportion of the population, it may even be a worse problem here in Canada. So it's reaching out to these people, and of course, it's like everything else. You're going to have your haters, and God knows I have mine. I have people all the time sending me hate mail saying, hey, you're splitting up marriages, you're doing this, you're doing that. That's okay. I'm not splitting up any marriages. I'm just trying to tell people that they have choices, even though they don't think that they do. They always have choices. The biggest source of anxiety that anyone will have are two things. Number one is putting up with crap from other people, things that you think that matter that really don't. And the other is having the inability to say no to someone. You know, we're all doing things for people that we don't want to do. I'm sure you're doing things for your wife that, you know, given
That's not true, Jeff.
You
No,
really want,
everything
you really
that Nina
wouldn't
asked
want
me to do,
it.
I love doing. That's on the record.
But at the end of the day, you're going to have people that are going to say yes to someone just to appease them, knowing that it's not right. It's knowing that it's going to cause them anxiety. I just had a guy that I know lost a $500,000 position with an insurance company because he kept saying yes to this person, just letting things go, because he just wanted the guy to think he was a cool guy. Well, the guy got his way, so yeah, he thinks he's a cool guy, but now he can't do anything for him anymore because he's out of a job. He's not in a position to help him anymore.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're here. We're going to spend the next couple of days diving into all things YouTube and thought leadership, but you got me here one-on-one too now. So what's on your mind? How can I help? What are you working on? Where can I give some insights?
You know, what I need help with the most is getting, driving people to the channel. That is the biggest thing. And of course, I have to spend more time making the content. You know, it's real easy to sit there and pop out 60, 90 seconds on my phone while I'm walking down the street and post it on Instagram or put it on YouTube Shorts. But to sit there and talk on a subject for 15 to 60 minutes, sometimes that's tough for me to do, either because I'll run out of things to say, believe it or not, or at the end of the day, I run a big insurance company, so a lot of times it's just taking the time to do it.
You know, the difference between a 90-second video and a 10-minute video is actually not that long in terms of time in the day.
Yeah.
Right? If you can't get there yet, it's fine. It's a practice. It's a skill that if you stay consistent like anything, you get better at it. Like if you ever picked up a running habit, the first time you run like to the end of the driveway and then you can run around the block and then you just get better at it. A simple framework that we use that
I'm never getting into a running habit, by the way.
Yeah, never say never. Never say never. You get in cage with wild wolves, you know, you might pick up a running habit. Who knows? But a simple framework we use is what's your opinion? What's happening? Like you have a lot of opinions. You see something happening. What's the opinion? What's the story? And then 3 bits of advice. If you just tell a story, it's fine. But it's like, what do I do? So if you think about the woman you just talked about, the person who was working with you, okay, what's the opinion? What's the advice? Like what's the opinion you have at the top if that's happening? Like how would you lead that video before you get to the story? What's the opinion?
If you're being abused in a relationship with anyone, especially someone that's on alcohol or drugs, you need to get out as quickly as you can, because if the alcohol is ruining their lives, it's going to destroy yours.
Perfect. That's a powerful opinion. That's a great start. And you came up with it. It doesn't take like 5 hours of thinking to come up with it, right? And you're actually great at this. So other people struggle a lot, but I just asked you and you came up with something, right? That's how you open the video. Now that's only 20 seconds. That's not very long. Then you tell the story. And you told the story. And if you tell it in its full story, that's going to be a 2-3 minute story, right? I'm sure you can add more details if you want to stretch it to 5. But now we have a 20-second intro and a 3 to 5 minute story. We're still not there yet.
Right.
But what do I do now? So you've told me the story. You told me that opinion I need to get out. You told me the story of this woman. And then all of but my father paid for this. And I had all this stuff lined up. And I'm worried about what they're going to say about me and how this looks. Great. Okay. I understand. I'm with you. Now what do I do? What am I supposed to actually do to get out of this? I'm watching this video. I am this woman now. I'm with you. Like, I agree with you. But what are my next steps? So without telling me what's inside each step, what are the 3 steps I need to take? Step 1, 2, 3.
Step 1 is to pack your stuff.
Okay. Step 2.
Step 2 is if you can't pack your stuff, always have a go bag ready to go. And I talk about having a go bag, having your passport, your driver's license, cash.
Yep. And step 3?
Having things. And 3, already have planned out a place to go.
Great. So you came up with that quick. Now, you've talked about these things too, right? It's not like all like fresh ideas, but
if you live in Florida like I do, get a gun.
Step 4 if you want, right? Jeff Wright, ladies and gentlemen. Why I kind of stopped you going through each one, because you could talk about each one for 3 minutes each.
Yeah.
You could, right? Like go bag. Okay, what's in a go bag? What should I think about? How big should the go bag be? What do I need to make sure that's in there? How many days cash? Is it food? Is it clothing? Is it water? Is it my passport? Like what goes into the go? That's 3 minutes at least, just talking about the go bag, right?
Sure.
You could talk about it. If you have a 3-minute story, a 30-second intro, and then 3 bits of advice that are all 3 minutes each, right? We're past our mark.
Right.
That's a 12.5-minute video.
Right.
Without you even trying.
Right.
Like to talk about a go bag for just 3 minutes is actually tough. Like you could talk about 5 minutes for a go bag. Go find a place to go, step 3, right? Okay, but like what's the thinking? Because people have no idea, they've never thought about this before. So they need it broken down. What do I, is it like my mom's house? Am I trying to leave the state? Is it a hotel? Do I have to budget for this? Do I need 30 days cash on hand? Like all of these things that people are thinking about. I'm just coming up on the spot, right?
One thing I tell people, if they're going to go somewhere, make sure they're going somewhere where they're not friends with their spouse.
Right? I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah.
So you have your list of things, and you'll also, being who you are, you'll find other things to talk about too. Like you'll as you're talking, come up with a bonus thing, like if you're in Florida, buy a gun, and then you talk about that for 4 minutes, right? and it's funny, but it's also serious, right? Like if you're actually in that dire of a situation where like your life is being threatened, like hey, that might be a good idea, right? Like it's a funny angle, but also there's a truth element to it as well, right? So that structure did not take. How long did it take to do? What's your opinion? You have the story. 3 bits of advice, you pounded up pretty quickly and came up with a bonus 4th. Then just go talk about it.
Yeah.
That's a 15-minute video without barely trying. Where I think you're getting, not stuck, but limited on the length is just telling the story and then not pulling people through, like, what do I actually do next? Which you have.
Yeah.
Like, you have the information.
Because people want to know what to do. All right, you gave me this, what do I do with it?
So every lesson needs a story. Every story needs a lesson. So you're given a story, but now I need the lesson of like, what's my actionable advice? If you just give the advice without the story, they don't follow the advice. The story gives them the emotional connection to you and that you care and why you care. Humans are emotion first, so we're storytelling creatures. We learn through story. And you tell some wild and crazy, and, I don't know how much you're going to start sharing on YouTube, but you are a great storyteller. And so they connect to you. But then, like, okay, I'm with you, and how do I do the next steps? And you have the information, but we're not sharing it. And that's the easiest point. You're not going to win off of having a perfectly scripted video and then come to a studio and then read from the teleprompter, here's your 15-minute script, go. Like, you could do that, and you would excel at it, but it's actually cheating your talents.
Sure.
Because you're way better just being you than having to memorize a script or read off a teleprompter.
This is earlier, before we sat down, I was talking about how much I'm against using AI for this. I think Mike Koenig said it best. AI is a good first step. If you're like totally fuzzy on where am I going to start, maybe I might use it for that. But like scripting things for AI with AI and reading AI scripts, I'm totally against that because one, it's phony, and number two, it would just like you're wearing an Apple Watch. Could you wear that long enough? You couldn't wear a watch like this and tell what time it is.
Yeah. If you wanted to use AI for like, what should go in the grab bag? Give me a list of 100 items that should go in a grab bag. There's probably a few on that list that'll come up that you hadn't thought of. Like, oh, that's actually a good thing to have in there.
Yeah.
right? Cool. But you win off of your personality, your authenticity, your storytelling, your deep care for people. And you're able to actually do it relatively quickly. Like compared to most people, I've walked a lot of people through the exercise that we just did. What's your opinion? What's the story? What's the 3 bits of advice? And it takes a little bit of time to go through, but then they get it and then they practice it and they start to win. You could just do it. And the difference between making a 90-second video and a 12-minute video is actually not that much time in your day.
No, you're right.
And it doesn't have to be perfectly edited or cut or like in a studio. It could still be walking outside or being at the hospital, or you film at the airport. You like he's never in one spot. You just take the camera, flip it there, develop a little bit of arm strength to hold it for longer than 90 seconds, and you're making content.
How does this work using a GoPro? Is that better?
Gear doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's usually the phone is the easiest because the microphones are pretty decent and you have it on you at all times.
Right.
Adding a layer of complexity usually means you don't do it.
Yeah.
And not you, but like anybody, right? Oh, where's my GoPro? Oh, I forgot. Oh, it's in the bag. Even just like the fact that it's somewhere in your carry-on versus like you already have your phone on you at all times. The phone cameras are pretty awesome quality for what you need.
Sure.
Right? I mean, it's not as good as these cameras here, but like you don't need to have that when you're walking through an airport trying to share a story.
Right.
And nobody's watching your stuff for the high-end video production. Like the fact that you're walking through an airport and you're pissed off about something is what makes it great. Right? Like that's your magic.
I think too, with a lot of people, they're too worried about what other people will think about what they're saying. Mm-hmm. They'll try to judge them when no one's judging them at all. And you talking about an airport made me think about. I made a video I think last year. I was walking through the Miami airport, and I'm dressed like I'm homeless. I got my Miami Hurricanes hat on that's been run over by cars 100 times, a ratty T-shirt and shorts. I'm actually going to Phoenix. And the first thing I see is this lady cleaning her shoes. Then I see another lady who is getting on her daughter's case about a little piece of lint. Now, this is in a really busy airport. I see another guy who's walking around, and he's got a Rolex on. I'm into watches in a big way, and most people aren't. And I could just tell by the way he was walking, he wanted people to see that Rolex.
Right. Yep.
And I made a video talking about how big the airport is, and all these people, they're only concerned about where they're going. They don't really care about what's going on with you. So all the things that you think people are judging you on, if you're wearing a Rolex or not, what kind of bag you have, if you have stuff on your shoes or not, nobody cares. Because at the end of the day, most people are just worried about what they're doing. You're not even an afterthought. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I think when it comes to doing social media or making content, I think that is one of the biggest hurdles. One of the sales trainings that I do for my people.
But that's not a hurdle for you.
It's not a hurdle for me, but it was.
Okay.
It was. Because one of the biggest hurdles that I have my sales guys do is just pick up their phone and start making selfie videos. Yeah. I have guys that are ex-Navy SEALs that are scared to death of their phone.
Yeah.
Scared to death.
Yeah.
And it's just like anything else. It just takes practice.
You've already done the hardest thing.
Yeah.
You've already, like that moment of inspiration from the person that, worked for you, and then you just go to Instagram and you make a video and you post and share. That's the hardest thing. To turn that and move the phone sideways and just talk longer.
Yeah.
Is not as big a step of the ones that you've already taken.
Exactly.
So it's just now a matter of doing it.
Yeah. So the confidence in that and anything else, it doesn't come from watching YouTube videos on how to film content. It comes from filming the content.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the studying is important, but it will never replace the actual doing.
Correct. So now you need to do.
Now I'm going to do, yeah. I got 71 subscribers, though.
Let's go. Okay, that's a good start.
That's kicking, yeah.
You're a very observant and curious person. Like you notice things that other people don't notice.
Yes.
You walk through and you're seeing things that other people don't see. Most people just pass by and like, that's interesting that person is doing this, or like that they designed the building this. Like you're always pointing out things that most people don't see. That's normal Jeff Wright world.
Yeah.
Right. That's just normal. But for other people, that's really weird. Like the way you think, the way you see things. And that's our job as thought leaders, is to help people see the world a little bit the way we see it.
Yeah.
And so walking through the airport and seeing how all these people are just concerned about themselves, and you're saying, hey, look, like why worry when all these people are just in their own heads anyway? That's a powerful message. But there's stuff that's happening all the time in your head as you're just noticing things that other people don't notice. That's all potential content. You could have made 40 videos already today based off the thoughts you had and the experience that you had. That's the trick. It's like it's so normal for you that it's hard to realize it is actually special, that other people would look at that and say, wow, that's a different way of seeing it, because it's just normal life for you.
No. Well, I mean, it's like Angela.
Yeah.
Angela says, I watched your Instagram videos, and it took me a while to figure out if I was going to like you or not, because what you said about the 300-pound nurses lecturing people on how to eat. And she said, but I thought about it, and no, you're right. A lot of people know that a lot of this stuff's right. They just won't say it.
Yeah. Well, and to that point, like the two best parts of YouTube in that respect is, one, the content lives longer. So like you make a video on Instagram, it goes viral, whatever, awesome. And then 2 weeks later, like nobody cares. Where YouTube, the video lives forever. And as long like that is a message that is unfortunately timeless. And so in 3 years, it's still valuable, right? Unless there's a massive cultural shift. In 3 years, it's still probably gonna be really valuable. And so you're building bricks of a foundation that live forever, as opposed to just constantly being on the treadmill. And the second is, the longer somebody's spending with you, the more time they have to get into your world, to understand how you're thinking, to understand your intentions, to give you more time, to get closer to you, to then want to go into your, you have your book funnel, buy the book, and then insurance, everything else. The more time they're spending with you, the more they like you, the more they're going to take the next step to, one, changing their life, which is the advice that you're giving them, right? Like if you actually want to have impact, the more time they're spending with you, the more likely they're going to actually do something versus a 60-second, quick thing.
Right.
And the more likely they're going to want to take the next step in terms of working with you, with the book and then the insurance and everything else.
Yes.
Right? And so it's just a matter of you flipping the phone around and going a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But it's super doable.
Yeah, we'll do it.
So when's the first video coming up, Jeff?
I'll make one while I'm up here.
Let's go.
I'll make one while I'm up here.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, people want to find you, follow you. Where are they going?
My Instagram is @TheRealJeffWright, and my YouTube is @Ruthless2Win. Ruthless to win, because you have to be ruthless to win at anything, even making 10-minute videos.
Let's go.
And congratulations, you're one video closer to who you're meant to be. To watch you coach another amazing entrepreneur, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there. Tim White built a service company by doing the one thing most businesses refuse to do: care like it's personal. And the crazy part is, he's been hiding the best-selling tool he has,